Hi, crew. On the porch today, we've got a racing driver. I am so excited to have our first driver of the day join me for a porch sit down. So, crew, buckle up. We have a 4-time Formula 4 champion on the porch today. I love champions. We all love champions. He's passionate about anything motorsport. He is 100% committed to the first life. A seasoned racing driver with more than 20 years experience. Guys, how many of you have done anything for more than 20 years? The paddock porch grid is coming along nicely. And on P1, we have Andrew Horne. Andrew Horne, welcome to the paddock porch.
Hi, Shiko. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here with you.
Amazing. Andrew, right off the bat, you are my favorite kind of person, a man of his word. You said you'll come through and you did.
Well, we started this conversation at Kyalami and here we are, yeah.
I know you have a lot to do, so thank you for coming through.
It's a pleasure.
But yeah, straight to business. Are you ready?
I'm always ready. My season actually starts next week. So yeah, we're flat out getting prepared for the Passion for Speed at Zwartkops. So yeah, we are ready.
Amazing. Do you have everything you need? Something to sip on? Are you comfortable? Amazing. Lights out. Let's go. We are going to start with my favorite icebreaker. Quickfire.
Let's go.
I'm just curious about racing driver personality. Andrew, today you're my racing driver, so you are the one to tell us about that. But top of your head, don't overthink. Are you smooth or aggressive when driving?
Smooth, always smooth. Smooth is fast.
I like that. Are you a risk taker or calculated?
I think as I've gotten older and gotten into endurance racing, you have to be a bit more calculated than taking risk.
I get it. Do you race for precision or instinct?
A combination of both, I think, but there's a certain amount of precision that goes into it.
Okay, what's more important, one perfect lap or consistent stints?
Consistent stints, always. You get lots of people that'll set up a car to do one fast lap, which is great. If you can only do one fast lap in the race and you can be close, you're going to be a lot better off.
Especially for what I like Formula One, they try and do
go.
one perfect lap in quali and then sets them up for a win. So
Correct.
So are you able to count laps as you go, or you leave that entirely to yourself?
I can't. I've tried. I've never been able to do
Not
it, sorry.
possible. Okay. I'm always curious about that, but yeah, it's why you have a team, right?
Time melts away in a racing car, and you think you've done 1 lap, 2 laps, meantime you've done 5 laps, or the other way around.
I don't know if your car has a lot of setups, but do you go with a setup you love or a setup that works?
My car is, well, both my cars, my Formula Ford and my Ligier, infinitely adjustable, and conditions, weather, whatever state the track is in, will determine largely where you move the setup to. So we've got a base that we work from, but you're forever moving the car through a race weekend.
Okay. So whatever works, not
Pretty
what
much.
necessarily you love.
Some days you've got to go in a completely different direction than you would normally, and you find something. So yes, it's an ever-moving equation.
People when driving, they say this, I listen to my car. So do you listen to your car, or are you the one who tells it what to do?
No, you listen to it, particularly if you're leading a race coming towards the end. You start hearing noises that might not have been there at the start. So yes, I listen very carefully to the car.
Okay. All is looking good for podium. Do you push the car or try and protect it?
If you are in a position to protect it, protect it. Only drive fast enough to win the race. You know what I mean?
So mostly protecting the car is your main goal of any race day or any race weekend.
Yep.
Okay, that's interesting. Endurance is a different ballgame, but do you prefer to attack early or wait it out?
It depends on the situation. It depends on the day. But yeah, it is quite nice to have tires left at the end to fight at the end.
Every typical race weekend, do you go with the mindset, I'm driving to win, or you're driving with the mindset that I'm driving not to lose?
No, drive to win always.
You must wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm gonna win this.
You've done all the work. None of us prepared to lose. I don't think anybody's there to come last. Everybody's really trying hard.
Yeah.
So no, I'm there to win for sure.
I like that. So drive to win always. If you had to pick one, endurance driving or Formula One, if you had to.
Endurance racing has always been an obsession for me. I love it.
Why?
I think it changes so much through the distance of a race. You've got to adapt a lot more. You've got to think a lot more. Your strategy plays a role, how you look after the car, and you get to drive a whole lot more, obviously.
I like what you do, and thank you so much for your contribution to the Quickfire. I'm curious
Sure.
about your racing journey. First of all, what's your racing driver nickname?
I somehow, because of my surname, landed up with the nickname the Horne Dog, which I can't tell you that I love, but it's stuck.
Who gave it to you?
I've got a friend called Paul Gerber, and somehow that came along when we were still at school. And here we are many years later, and I still
so
have
you
it.
had it. Oh my! So it has been like your nickname for a long time.
Yeah.
Does your team does your whole team call you this? The people you
Fortunately
just...
not, but a lot of people around racing do, and some of the commentators use it as well, which is great.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to own it, I suppose.
I know the horn is your name, so the dog part. Anyway, how did you know you wanted to be a racing driver? Give me, how old were you? Like, I want to do this my whole life.
Wow. I think I went to Kyalami to watch a race, probably the mid-90s, and I was hooked. I spent a day watching what was then Group N touring cars, Westbank modifieds, and I was completely hooked. And that was a defining moment in my life. And yeah, it kind of progressed from there, where once you've got a bee in your bonnet, you pursue it. Yeah.
That's interesting. So we don't have Grand Prix where I come from. We have safari rallies. That one you just stand near the nearest road where the cars will pass.
Get covered in dust and mud. It's great fun.
Yes, that's interesting. Just seeing something and seeing yourself doing it, that's a dream come true. It must have been a challenging one, of course. So
Yeah.
tell me how your support system has looked like over the years.
Around the same sort of time that I started watching racing, a fairly infamous racing driver called Graham Foss lived down the road from me. And I was riding my bicycle around the neighborhood and saw his racing car on a trailer at the local petrol station, and turned in there and went and started irritating him. And I did that enough to the point that he said, right, well, come along to the racetrack with me and you can help out in the pits. And that carried on for a number of years. And then I think I was about 14, and he said to me, right, we found a Formula V in a scrapyard, and work for me in your school holidays and sell everything you own and get some money together, and let's go and buy this thing. So I bought a Formula V out of a scrapyard, and that was a 2-year project now of rebuilding this thing, with a lot of great people helping me. I am obviously a big influence, and then Malcolm Scott, who still helps me today with my racing, he was around in those days, and went racing in a club series called Formula Libre at 16, and that was a good introduction, taught me a lot. But for me, the holy grail of junior formulas is Formula Ford. So I managed to get into Formula Ford when I was 18. That was the best thing I ever did. To this day, I still own my Formula Ford and I still race it, and they are the best cars in the world. Managed to win a championship there with a Formula Ford. Yeah. I've got a car called a Royale RP31, and Royale is a famous brand of Formula Fords that came through the 70s and 80s. And a lot of the Formula One designers worked for Royale. Most famously, Rory Byrne, who designed all Michael Schumacher's Ferraris through the 90s and early 2000s that Michael Schumacher won his championships in. Rory's actually South African, and worked his way up the ranks through Formula Ford, designing and building, and then to Formula One. So Formula Ford, from that point of view, is a great school. Designers, engineers, drivers. So yeah, I've got my Royale, and it's a fantastic car.
You have it to this day?
Yep. Yeah.
Wow, I need to see it.
You're welcome to come to the workshop anytime you like.
That's old, but it must be looking good because, of course, you know how to do the maintaining and everything.
Correct.
And wow, that's an interesting story.
Yeah, so that paid off, and I think I won my first Formula Ford championship, and then a company called InvestChem, Ian Schofield, stepped in and he helped me, and I raced with his team for quite a while, and then progressed to endurance from there. But yeah, Formula Ford Ford was a good 20 years of my life.
Wow, 20.
15, 20 years of my life, yeah.
Yeah. So you started fast, then you were like, let me do endurance for a bit.
Endurance was a mistake. A friend of mine called Matthew decided to build his own endurance car. And he phoned me on a Thursday and, what are you doing tomorrow? I said to him, well, I'm at work. Like, well, you need to not go to work. Car's finished. We're going to go and do the Volcom 6-hour race. So this car had never been run. So we loaded it and off we went to Volcom. And we did the 6-hour endurance race, which was one of the more difficult weekends of my life. But we had a lot of fun and the car was good. And he went on to build a whole fleet of them. And I was hooked with the long stints and all the time in the car.
6 hours.
I didn't do 6 hours on my own.
You had a team.
I shared it with somebody
okay.
else. Yeah.
Oh, so like you have a team like of several people.
Yes.
So interchange. Oh, okay. I get it. I wasn't watching endurance, so I'm trying to learn a bit about it. Yeah, that's an interesting journey. Ever had lowest of the lowest moments you're like, I think I need to do something else and not be a racing driver?
In motorsport, the highs are high and the lows are really low. You always get a really bad weekend thrown in periodically, and it makes you appreciate the good ones a bit more. And sometimes it makes you go back and work a little bit harder to perform better. Yeah, I think one of the worst ones I ever had was we went to a place called Lichtenburg to do a race. And I went out in qualifying on Saturday morning and stones got between the sump of the engine and the chassis and it punched a hole in the sump and it drained all the oil and the engine blew up. So I'd driven 3 hours to Lichtenburg. I did 2 laps and put it back on the trailer and drove 3 hours home. So that's a highlight of a low for you.
That must have been disappointing. I mean, even if you don't win, everyone wants to get across the finish line. So, yeah, that's not interesting at all.
No, it was a bad day.
If you were not racing, what would you be doing if it didn't work out? If you didn't go to Kailami and see these fast cars and you're like, I'm going to be a racing driver, what else do you think you would have done with your life?
I have absolutely no idea.
Oh, thank God. Because
Probably golf. I don't know, actually.
Oh, okay. Okay, golf is another thing. Okay.
The difference is I'm really bad at golf.
I'm also bad at golf, so we
So
must play
bad.
together. But yeah, anyway, so you would have been a golfer. But thank God, because it seems you would have been stuck.
Yeah, very stuck.
So how many years of experience do you have racing? Like, if you could sum it up, how many years in total?
I think I did my first race in 2002 or 2003, 23, 24 years.
So you're a master racing driver, because yeah, that's a long time.
Master something, but I don't know about racing driver.
More than 20 years, you can speak about it, you can give advice on it, because yeah, more than 20 years of anything is a lot.
Yeah, no, I've been doing this a long
Yeah,
time.
so exactly. It's like almost half your life.
More than half my life.
I can't count anything I've done for more than 20 years. Anything at the top of your mind that will live with you forever, whether good or bad. And you're like, I will never forget this.
There are so many of those experiences. You know, I think that is the best part about motorsport is you have so many of those good experiences. Winning my Formula Ford championships was very special. It's a difficult series to race in. The cars are very even. So those are highlights for me. And a lot of the friendships I've made. Yeah, you know, some of the parties, some of the experiences, it's a lot of fun.
I like that you don't let the racing thing be the entirety of your life. Like you saying you got friendships, you got connections. Life is about that. You don't just do what you do. You need to get connections, you need to get friends. And it's good that you get that. Most people don't get it. And by the end of maybe your career, you're like, what am I moving out of this with? So if you have friendships, you have connections, you have amazing experiences. Like if you get out of whatever you're doing, you're like, I've done what I came to do and I got out with a whole lot. So I want to talk about the series you're currently doing. So you've been in how many series or championships?
Formula Ford. So it was Formula Libre I started in, then Formula Ford. Then that became Formula 1600, which is now morphed into the InvestChem MSA4 category. I haven't driven the new MSA4s, but I drove the previous generation of cars. And then SAS. And then I race now
So it's
in
like four.
historic single-seaters as well, just because it's fun.
So you have done about 5 series or championships in total. That's
Yeah.
interesting. So do you guys go big on livery and updates and those kind of stuff?
We make the car look good. You know, a car was built for a series called the V de V series in France. So we run it more or less as it was in France when it was built. We have done quite a bit to the engine to try and compete with the GT3 cars. And at the moment, we're kind of at the limits of that. And it's very much on par with what it was as it came out the factory.
And do you guys have like a whole team of strategists, techs, racing directors? You see all this fancy stuff we see in Formula One. Do you guys have that?
No, I rely very much on a good group of mates that come and help me. And yeah, no, we don't have a big team of people. It's normally 3 or 4 of us. So I've got Malcolm who helps me big time on the mechanics. I've got my mate Hein who sits on the radio. I've got another mate Kenny who also helps with the radio. A legend of off-road racing called Bix Carolyn. He comes and helps us. Graham Foss comes and helps us. And then another mate of mine, Eric Brown, he's more moral support and catering than anything.
And we all need those kinds of people.
Yeah, and Eric's great. He runs off to go and find spares if we need spares, and make sure the cooler box is full.
So those kinds of people in my country, we call them KYM. So
Okay, what does that stand for?
all of it's not English, so it's more like errand boy for what I will translate it to in English. Tell me about your lead. You know, racing drivers, the helmet is what puts them in the zone. Any sentimental stuff on it? Any story behind it?
My first painted helmet came quite late in my career, and I was battling to find something that I liked. And I liked the yellow because it stood out a bit. And it was weird because it was around the time that Dan Weldon was killed in an IndyCar crash. I liked the look of his lid, so kind of used a bit of that for inspiration. And it's kind of mutated a bit over the years, but it's still yellow and blue and red. And
about the racing calendar, so what does your typical season look like? Like race weekends, travel, preparation, downtime? Do you guys have like summer breaks or how does that go?
Our seasons run normally sort of March to end of November in South Africa. We normally start with a thing at Zwartkops every year called the Passion for Speed, which is a big historic day at Zwartkops, the last week of January. So that's coming up now. I'll do that in the Formula Ford to get going. And then a month later, we start with SAS. So yeah, during the year, it gets quite busy, particularly because I run my own car. All the preparation is done here by me with friends. So it's a lot of work. You're here virtually every weekend, lots of evenings. We've got a rotation of sort of maintenance we do on the car. And yeah, you just kind of get on with it. And then whatever breaks or gets damaged during a race, you've got to factor that in as well. But yeah, that's how it works. So there's no real summer breaks. There's normally a bigger break in the winter months. July, you might get 8 weeks between a round or so. So yeah.
Every weekend you're out different places in South Africa, or it's more Johannesburg kind of traveling?
Yeah, most of our rounds are Gauteng based. So I think we start at Zwartkops, then I think we go PE. We then go PE, Cape
PE is Port
Town.
Elizabeth.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, I've never been there. Okay.
Great racetrack, by the way. Awesome fun.
Oh.
But yeah, that's it. And then I will then mix SAS with some historic single-seater racing in my Formula Ford as well. I probably do 10 or 12 races a year in total.
That's like a bit half of like Formula One. That's why the drivers keep complaining, because it's a lot of shipping and traveling and yeah.
I know. I don't know how they do it. It's incredible.
I saw a documentary and I'm like, this must cost a lot, because shipping all those people, shipping the cars.
Formula One is the absolute pinnacle of the sport.
and they need to bring it closer to the fans, so they need to go to different places because it's not like South Africa. You will race in South Africa. For us, like Safari Rally, they are racing in East Africa, so Formula One is more like the global motorsport kind of thing, so they need to go close to everybody's.
You should head out
No.
to Swartkorps next week. That is the weekend of the 31st. It's Pretoria West, so it's about 35 minutes. It's not too bad. And
It's not too far.
it's a
That's not
nice
too
track,
far.
and there are a lot of cars entered. There's probably
Mm.
8 or 9 categories, different races on the day, all short races. And I think there's going to be about 300 cars entered. It's going to be a good show.
I'll check that up later and see if I can be available to do that.
The other thing you should definitely look at if you want to get into the South African motorsport scene is the Extreme Fest, National Extreme.
Extreme Fist.
Yep, National Extreme Fest and Regional Extreme Fest. Both very good.
Okay, that's interesting to know. When you're doing races, do you have specific thing you eat or drink?
I tend to stick to a lot of rehydrate, particularly in the endurance racing because you sweat a lot. So I'll do a lot of rehydrate. Food-wise, I don't go too crazy on anything. I mean, try and eat healthy a lot of the time leading up to a race, but race weekends, I'm quite happy with a burger or a toasted salmi or, something that's got a bit of carbs in it. And I'm not too fussy with that, but rehydrate, lots of rehydrate. It makes a big difference.
So, what kind of physical training generally do drivers do?
I'm not sure about
Strength training,
everybody else.
cardio.
Yeah, I do quite a lot of cardio. So I will
Okay.
be out with my dog running a couple of times a week, 3, 4
Okay.
times a week. I've got a rowing machine at home that I attack quite a bit. So yeah, I find
Okay.
those work. And then I'm finding with my Ligier, I've had to start training my neck a little bit because that gets a little bit sore.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's been an interesting learning curve.
Thank you so much for that. I would like you to leave some porch wisdom for us. Like everything we do, like even racing, there are lessons in racing that could apply to real life. Any porch wisdom you'd leave for young people?
Motorsport teaches you a lot about hard work and never give up. I think those are the big things there is hard work, don't give up. And you can apply that in so many aspects of your life as well. Also, things in motorsport happen quickly. You need to grab hold of a project and move it. It's the same as racing. If you've got a problem, you need to hurry up, get it fixed, and make sure you've solved it. And that people can apply to many, many things.
Wow. Thank you so much. We love what you guys do. It's more of entertainment to us. So I can't let you go without asking, like, what car do you use on a normal day? Like, it's not racing, you're just cruising on the South African highways.
I've got a VW Transporter van, living the dream.
People like VWs in South Africa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have is it an assembly somewhere? Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so I love Formula One, so I'm gonna ask you this. Do you like Formula One?
I love Formula One.
Amazing. Who's your favorite driver?
Currently,
Okay, you can say all-time favorite, then you can tell me the current one.
that's a very difficult question. They're so hard to judge across the generations. Emerson Fittipaldi for me was probably my all-time favorite, only because he raced for Lotus and that particular generation of the Lotus Formula One cars were very sexy and he had cool sideburns. I think at the moment, Max Verstappen at the moment is just what he can pull out of a car is incredible. But yeah, I'd say between Max and Lando, I like them both.
Okay. But Max's personality is really interesting. We don't know these people in person, but he's those guys, he'll do what he wants. He doesn't care what anybody thinks. And sometimes we need to do that. Sometimes if you're too worried about what people think, you will not live life. You will be always cautious about what you do, cautious about what you say. But this guy, he's not my favorite driver, but that's what I pick from him. Like, do what you love, say what you want to say, don't care too much about what other people think. And
you've got to look
you like his driving.
you've got to look at what he's achieved. And you've got to look at 2025. That Red Bull was not good to start with. Between him and the team, they got that thing back up there. And that is impressive. It's very hard to do.
He actually missed the championship with I think 2 points. Any favorite team, like any car you like that's currently on the grid?
Well, I'm a big McLaren fan. I always have been, and I'm talking way back to the 60s. They're one of the oldest teams that are around, and Williams obviously as well. Always want to see Williams up there.
Yeah, Williams is a good team. I like James. Everyone likes James.
He is
And
very cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you look back over the years with Frank Williams, and I think there was somebody that probably shouldn't have succeeded the way he did, but he worked hard and he just had a never say die mentality. And yeah, I think that's why I still love Williams. As a kid, that was my team, and yeah, always will love them.
So apart from physical stuff, mentally, like recently when I came to your race, the South African Endurance Series, something went horribly wrong, right? When something goes horribly wrong, like in a race, you're uncertain if you'll finish, you're uncertain if you'll get your car out again, you're uncertain about anything and everything. So how do you get your mind back in the game?
You've got to try and stay calm. I'm not always the best at that, but you've got to try and stay calm, and you've either got to manage it and bring the car home, or, kind of push to where you are at your limit and make sure you do that consistently and try and come back. But, unfortunately, you can't change it. It's happened, and you've got to make the best of it. And either, if you're looking at a championship, get as many points as you can. But yeah, you've got to judge each situation on where you are, and you've got to either manage the situation or just push like hell and get back.
Yeah. And push you did, because I saw when you got your car back out again, you were able to finish on podium and for the 1 hour dash, and it was beautiful to see. And it's good that you are not just telling us what we should do. You have been in that situation and you've done it yourself. So much respect for that. And thank you so much, Andrew Horne. What an amazing conversation.
Thanks, Shika.
I truly appreciate you squeezing me in before the season kicks off. I need to see your Ford. You've talked about it
come
so
and
much.
visit anytime.
I need to come see it and see if it's looking better with age.
Of course, it's like fine wine.
It gets better with age.
Absolutely.
Yes, I love that. And I truly appreciate you giving me your time.
Anytime.
And it means a lot. And listen, if I'm around and you're racing near me and I'm available,
with pleasure.
Tell me and I'll come cheer you on or help you with strategy. And yeah, definitely November, I already scheduled it for Kailami, but any other time there's something near here, just let me know. My son likes cars. That's why I'm asking you about it. Like, he will drive anything. It doesn't matter if it's a shoe, it's a book, he's driving everything. So yeah, I'll see how that goes. I don't know if it's what he wants to do, but let's see.
There's a good piece of advice I'll give you ahead of time with kids that are interested in cars. How do you make $1 million out of racing? Start with $1 billion.
I've had it and we know, and that's why the pool for motorsport is kind of small, unfortunately, because it requires a lot of money. And it's good to tell people, don't be like, dream, you can achieve your dream. So you need to get people to think about how you will be able to achieve it. If it's money intensive, how are you going to get that money? And yeah, so let's see how that goes. But also a huge thank you to Nadine. She introduced me to Andrew. She encouraged me to come and talk to you guys. And she was like, no, they're cool with everyone. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you're from. Just come. And I came without my mic, nothing fancy, just my personal phone, not an iPhone. And we know how some South Africans feel about that. They need you to be using your iPhone if you are to be taken seriously. But yeah, none of you guys cared about that and you gave me your time. I want to wish all the teams and drivers competing in the South African Endurance Series and like all the other series you're telling me about in South Africa, all the best this season. May the best driver win. I hope it's you, Andrew, for all the competitions.
I need that. I really need that.
Yeah, but if you don't, may the best racing driver win. And that's it for our episode. I'm honestly grateful. Support my podcast by subscribing, following, liking, commenting, sharing. And to everyone already doing that, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Crew, until the next one, this is the Paddock Porch where we talk hot laps, life and family. I'm Shiko. As always, God bless.